Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let's just wait for. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. I hope. Let's just wait for a couple more people, and then we will make a start. Good evening. Thank you for those people who's joining us tonight for another live stream. Let's just wait for a couple more people, and then we will make a start. Guys, please type on the chat box where you're from so we know who's listening or watching this evening. If you're watching this before you go to sleep, why not? My voice could be your my lullaby for a cold night before you go to sleep and before you dream about the OSCE. Let's just wait for a couple more people. Yep, good evening. Thank you for watching this evening. And again, if you're new to my channel, my name is Emer, and we normally do some OSCE teaching. And this is one of our live streams. So, guys, please do subscribe to my channel, and please give this a like. And of course, you can share this live stream to your friends and invite them to come and join us. So tonight we will be discussing. So we will make it a bit different this evening. So as you can see, my camera is working now. Finally, I know last week I'm using my laptop's camera. So now we are using the proper camera. So hopefully I look better this time. So yeah, this evening we'll be discussing about my own journey, my own OSCE journey. And of course, I'll be sharing some tips along the way, how I survived or how I passed my own OSCE. So hopefully, if you have any questions, of course, please do put in chat box. We will just be chatting this evening. Hopefully, you will learn something. Hopefully you will learn something. Before we start, of course, I would like to thank our sponsor this evening. Our sponsor would be, of course, World Remit. So if you're sending money back home, please download the World Remit app and use the promo code, this one, the one on the screen, code EMER, and you will get an additional £15 on your first transaction. And of course, guys, we will have a final coaching. When is our final coaching? Final coaching will be, I think, 23rd or 24th of March. It will be a weekend. Go to Eventbrite. Yeah, I'll put the link on the chat box. Go to Eventbrite, search for my name, and you will see the link there. Yeah, so grab your tickets there. And of course, if you download World Remit and you send money, and of course use my promo code, you will get a chance to win a free ticket on that day. So once you made the transaction, just email me, probably like a receipt of your transaction, and then I will send you. We will select someone who will be joining us for free on that day. 23rd and 24th of March. Yeah, there you go. So hopefully you can join me on that day. And of course, what do you call this? I'm running for the London. I'm running at the London Marathon in April, and of course, I will be supporting Victa. It's a charity that supports and empowers blind children. So all the proceeds will go to them. Okay, so that's the charity we'll be supporting in April. So please do donate. Hi, Shanuga Priya. I hope I'm saying it properly. Yeah. So yep, there you go. Please do not download the app. World Remit. Use my code Emer, and you will get an additional £15 on your first transaction. There you go. What else? So yeah, this evening, like what I said, we'll be discussing my own OSCE journey. We'll be chatting. Hopefully, you will learn something this evening. Okay, and of course, if you have any suggestion for future classes, let me know. Let me know next week. Let me know what topic you want to discuss next. Just put it on the comment section. What else? All right. So if you have any questions, any comments, just put it on the chat box so we can answer it. If possible, can you put in the chat box what time you will be doing? What date you will be doing your OSCE and where? Let's see who's doing their exams at Ulster, Northumbria, Oxford Brookes, Northampton, or Leeds. For those people who will be taking the OSCE soon, good luck, of course. Some of you who's watching this video, probably you're watching this you might be watching this before your examination. So, good luck. Yeah. Please don't stay too late. Try to sleep early before your exams. Your exams might be tomorrow or in a few minutes time, so good luck. So hopefully you will learn something tonight. So for those people who will be watching this a bit late, thank you for watching. I know some of you probably you will be watching this on your day, during your day off or after work. So thank you for watching or listening. Yeah, hopefully my voice is sounds nice. Yeah, hopefully my voice sounds nice, and hopefully again you will learn something today. Yeah, you will learn something today, definitely, hopefully. All right. So again, we will just be chatting. We don't have any proper class today. I will just be sharing, of course, my experience when I did my OSCE a couple of years ago. It's been a couple of years, so I can still remember my experience. I mean, that day vividly. So let's start the story. Yeah. Again, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. Any questions? Just put it in the chat box. So I went to the UK 2017. Yeah. So that's when I started my UK journey. It's been a while. It's been a long time now. So if you calculate, I'm in the UK for a couple of years now. I'm turning, how many? 17, 18. 6 years now. Oh my God, it's been a while. But I can still remember it. It was just yesterday. So So yeah, when I went to the UK, I don't have anyone. I mean, I don't know anyone here. It's just me. And then I was just lucky because um I met lovely friends along the way. We came here at the same time. We don't know each other. We just met at the airport. Okay. With our dreams, with our luggages and all. So and then we're still friends until now. So during my time when I applied, I think to be honest, I don't have any plans of going abroad. If you ask me, um, I think I remember what triggered me to go abroad was I think um it was so busy in our area before, and then mo- colleagues most of my colleagues went to the UK, so I just copied them. One day, let me just copy them because I realized, oh, I think I'm the senior in our ward now. So and I miss these people because they really helped me when I was like a junior nurse before back in the Philippines. So that's the beginning of my story. And then one day I decided let's apply. So the hospital I worked before back in the Philippines, it's just near one of the probably well-known recruitment agencies back in the Philippines. So um I just went to their website and then submitted a query, an email saying I would like to apply in the UK. When I applied, I don't have, any places or any trust or hospital in mind. I just submitted my, I just submitted my, what do you call this? I just submitted my applications. My application, yeah, and without any plans in mind. I remember before, I know because of course I've been like part of some groups like Facebook groups. I know you know of course Manong George, yeah, of course I'm reading some of those the Filipino UK Facebook group. I know I'm enjoying reading those messages, yeah. Those posts. People are sharing their what they call this their stories. So when I went to the UK, I don't have any plans. I just submitted, and then let's see um what destiny brings us. And then I know people now are considering like the cost of living before applying, which part of the UK, probably which hospital is the best, or which hospital or trust specializes with what. Nowadays, I know people are considering if the trust has a good OSCE support, um, the salary, the banding when they apply, or let's say the accommodation, if the trust will shoulder the accommodation, or which agency processes the application, like the least amount of time, or all those stuff. So when I applied, to be honest, I did not consider all those. I just applied. Okay, I remember I just submitted my application and that's it. Um. Oh, before I proceed, I can see Bible. See Bible. Faith. She said, "Hi Emer, thank you for your tips and videos. It helped me a lot. I passed my OSCE one take. Oh, good. Congratulations." Is it Faith? Congratulations, Faith. Thank you for sharing. I know some of our videos are a bit old now because most of our videos were filmed during the pandemic because the sole reason we filmed our videos was actually to help those people who were like isolating. Because of course during pandemic, we even delivered our training online, and of course it was challenging to teach like skills online. Definitely, that's why we've created those video, and we don't have any platform before to upload those. So I just decided let's upload those videos on YouTube so at least it's faster. Yep. So going back to my story, yeah. So um actually when I applied, I hope you're enjoying my story. Yeah. So when I applied, um I already did my IELTS. So I did my, what do you call this? UKVI. So I only took IELTS once. So yeah, fortunately I only took IELTS once. I know because you have to take academic, isn't it? And then the visa. So I took the UKVI, so it's just one sitting. I don't have to redo it again. I'm fortunate because of course I passed one take. I know a lot of stories wherein people took the IELTS like 5 times or more, 10 times, and it's really frustrating. And of course, IELTS is expensive. Yeah, if you're in the Philippines and you're paying for your IELTS, of course, it's a lot of money already. And as a nurse in the Philippines, we don't earn much, so I don't know how it's like for those people that's living like in India, in Africa, and other parts of the world. Of course, yeah. If you're a humble nurse in the Philippines, of course, paying for the IELTS like once, I mean, more than like 2 times and above. Of course, you need to save a lot of money for that. And during my time, it was just IELTS. I know OET was probably like created when I arrived in the UK. I know OET is more expensive, of course, compared to IELTS. So yeah, only I took IELTS once. And actually, I think because during my time, the scores required were higher compared to now. I think when I did my IELTS, my first attempt, my what do you call this? My writing part, I think the score was 7. I think and the pass mark was 7.5. And then I was confident. I think I made, I did my writing good, like good enough to reach 7.5. So I applied for a remarking. So I applied for the remarking, and then I received the result after a couple of weeks, I think. And then my score changed. So I think my writing went up. I met the required score. Even my speaking, it went up. So I think it went up to like 8.5 or something. I can't remember. I might be lying. I might be lying. Yeah, so that's how I did my IELTS. I still remember because I was feeling confident, but during that time I think I will pass it in one attempt. Yeah. So I practiced my speaking. I think a day before, on the day. So I remember I had a practice for speaking like in the morning, and then I had my exams in the afternoon. But yeah, I did the training as well because of course definitely English is, of course, is not the first language in the Philippines. It's just our secondary language. Like probably most of you watching this. In the Philippines, we have more than 100 languages. Yeah, we have more than 100 languages, and of course, dialects. Um, so yeah, English is our secondary language next to Filipino. So and then so I did my, going back to my story again. Sorry, I have loads of side stories. So I did my IELTS first, and then I did my CBT. So during that time, I don't have an agency yet. Yeah, during that time, I didn't have my agency yet. I was just doing this on my own. So I think I went to the NMC website, and then I did my no, I think I'm lying. I did my I did my, what do you call this? IELTS first, and then after that, after I passed my IELTS, I started my NMC application, and then after that, I applied to an agency, and then they guided me for my CBT, because during my time, you have to complete IELTS and CBT first before you do the OSCE. Yeah, IELTS and CBT first before you receive what do you call this? Like it's like an ATT. What do you call it? Authorization to test? No. Um, ATT is for NCLEX. The other one, what do you call this? You will receive a notification that you have the right now to take the OSCE in the UK. But now they've changed it, yeah. So that you can take the exams, IELTS, OSCE, and CBT in any order. Okay, but of course, most of the time, OSCE is the last examination because you can only take the OSCE here in the UK. But of course, it's a different story for those people who are already in the UK, because for those people who are already in the UK, they can start with the OSCE if they like, yeah, as long as they can, of course, fund it, or there's a trust who's willing to support them with this journey. Yeah, you can take the exams now in any order, as long as, of course, you will be able to complete it before it expires, because CBT IELTS is only valid for 2 years. Okay, so make sure you will be able to complete your those requirements before those, expires. And of course, your NMC application, it will expire after 2 years as well. So those stuff. So when I did my so I did my CBT. I remember I was like, I think our agency before, they gave us some like review materials, like reading materials to prepare for the exams. I remember I what's it called this? I remember I was studying the code. Yeah, for those people who can relate, yeah. If you took the CBT already, um, you know the code, yeah. So you know the 6 C's, um, those stuff. And of course, now you have two parts of the CBT. So you have the numeracy as well. You have the calculation. Yeah. To be honest, the CBT, if you ask me, like if you compare the three examination, for me, CBT is the easiest exam. And of course, again, it's just for me, IELTS will be the most challenging examinations out of three. And OSCE is in the middle. Why? Why Emer? Why is that your ranking? I rank IELTS or OET like the most challenging, because again, for me, again, English is not the first language in the Philippines, or probably for most of you watching this. Probably you are good with English in terms of speaking, but probably there is also a potential that you might be lacking in terms of writing or listening. Okay, because of course, for the IELTS and OET, you will be assessed. There are four, of course, subcategory: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Of course, you might be good with speaking, but of course, you might not be good with the other subparts. Of course, lucky you if you're good with all. Why not? Yeah. So, if English is your first language and you're good with, and your command with English, in terms of the four subcategories, you are good, then of course it will be easier for you. Definitely, that's an advantage for you. Um, so OSCE, why I place it in the middle, because of yes, OSCE is of course it's challenging. You have to like memorize, study, understand, analyze how many scenarios, how many steps, how many what do you call this, skills, how many, that's a lot, yeah. But definitely there is a pot. If you fail the first time, the chance of you passing the second time is of course higher. Okay, on your second attempt, most likely you will pass. Compared to the IELTS OSCE, some people they did the IELTS 4 times, 5 times, 7 times, and they haven't succeeded. So if you belong on that category, keep on going. Yeah, I salute you definitely. It's challenging. OSCE, why did I put it in the middle? Because of course these are nursing skills. You know this, yeah? You know this. Let's say how to assess a patient. You've assessed a patient before, definitely when you were a student. Or of course, some of you probably you are like newly qualified nurse. You just finished university. You just receive your, let's say, your registration back home, or your PIN. In the UK, we call it a pin. Um, Back in the Philippines, we call it a license. Yeah, because in the Philippines, after you finish university, we normally take a board exams, like the NCLEX, and then after you finish, of course, for those people who's in America, so we do a board examination, and after that, we receive our registration. In the UK, um, typically they don't have that examination. So here in the UK, nursing students after they finish university, of course they also have an OSCE as part of their um, university. Yeah, one of their exams as well. So after they finish submitting all the requirements, the NMC will assess their application, and that's the time they will receive their pin. But they don't have like a board exams. Okay. Um. So yeah. Going back to my story, you've done that I mean, like those procedures when you were a student or when you were a staff back home. Let's say suppository, IM injection, subcutaneous injection. I think the hard part doing the OSCE is, of course, remembering all those steps, getting to know how, of course, things work in the UK. You might not be familiar with the equipment. Let's say, let me think of what do you call this? Let me think of an equipment. Let's say Clinell wipes. Yeah, Clinell wipes. Probably you've learned this during your preparation for your CBT. Clinell wipes back home in the Philippines, we don't use it. We use a different, disinfectant. Yeah, we don't normally use it. We don't have it back home. Especially if you work in a government hospital. Yeah, we don't have it. Um, let's say, and of course, let's say terminologies on the marking criteria. Of course, how to communicate might be challenging. Of course, some of you might be translating. I mean, during your OSCE or during your practice, of course, you are thinking in your own language and you're trying to, of course, translate that real time. Yeah, which is a struggle. Okay, definitely, which is a struggle. Potentially, some of you communication might not be your um, strength. Okay, and of course, remember during the OSCE communication will be tested. Yeah, your communication skills, how you assess patient, those will be tested. Of course, apart from you being compassionate, etc. So I think that's why the OSCE is hard. Okay, but of course, remember you've encountered most of the skills in the OSCE, like administration of oxygen. Um, let's say for mental health nurses, for LD nurses, they have a physiological assessment station. Yeah, what normally happens at that station? You take the vital signs. Okay, or in the UK we call it observations. Yeah, for adult nurses who's watching this, for mental health OSCE and learning disability, they have a station called physiological assessment. So that's the station they perform vital signs. For children's, of course, and adult, you perform your vital signs as part of your assessment station. So that's why I place OSCE in the middle. I'll tell you more about it later. I hope you're enjoying my our conversation. Yeah, this is not our normal. This is not our normal. What they call this teaching. It's just like a chat between you and me. Although no one's responding, I can sense that you agree. Some of you might be agreeing, yeah? So, of course, put in the comment section if you think, if you agree with whatever I'm saying. Or if you can share your story, why not? Okay. I'm talking to myself, yeah? So, please, again, do share this video. And, of course, please like this and click the notification bell so you'll get notified when I go live. And of course, please to subscribe to my channel. What else? And of course, CBT Just study. I know some of the agencies, they share study materials, of course. It's part of their, they pay for it, so please do utilize that. There are sample questions um, that the agencies are sharing. It's normally from the trust. The trust, and of course, whatever consortium they're working with, they normally pay for that, and of course, they share it with you. So please do utilize those materials. I think there are practice questions, yeah, that you have to keep practicing. So yeah, going back to the main story. Sorry, I'm off the story now. So after I passed my CBT, of course I completed all my requirements, etc. with the agency. I think, to be honest, like on the day of I think it only took me like less than 6 months from the time I applied and then my arrival to the UK. It only took me like around 6 months. Yeah. So remember, I think it only took me 3 months. I only prepared for my IELTS, I think, like 2 or 3 months to prepare, because of course I was working, so I can only attend like training, I think once a week or twice a week, and then I study on my own. I study with my friends. Um, yeah, but I think it only took me 3 months. So fast forward to 2017, of course. I arrived in the UK like October 2017. So can you imagine October? It's cold. Yeah. So I think it's autumn. Yeah. October is autumn or fall. So the temperature, I think, was like around 13 or 15. Remember, the Philippines, it's hot. Okay. So back home, the normal temperature ranges like 30 to 35. Yeah. That's the normal temperature back home. And in the Philippines, yeah, we don't normally check the weather app. Yeah, we don't normally check what's the weather today. We don't ask Siri, or Google, what's the weather today, or Alexa, what's the weather today. We don't do that back home. Yeah, I just learned how to do that here in the UK. In the morning, I ask Siri, what's the weather today, and then Siri will reply, weather today, there will be rain. At 2 o'clock, there will be a snow. Okay, so brace yourself. That's serious response. Okay, so um, or sometimes Google, what's the weather today? Emer, the weather today is depressing. So don't ask. Okay, so I'm just kidding. So that's the response I'm getting from Google or from Alexa. So yeah, back home in the Philippines, we don't normally check the weather. The reason is because all year round it's hot. Okay, that's basically the answer. All year round it's hot. Okay. No, I'm lying. Half of the year it's raining. Okay, so the temperature is hot, and then half of the year it's hot and it's raining. So that's why we don't normally check the weather back home. We just bring our umbrella. In the Philippines, if it's hot, you open your umbrella. Raining, you also open the umbrella. Okay, so um, in the UK, if it's hot, you don't open your umbrella because you will be the odd person in the streets. Yeah. In the UK, I mean here, they don't normally bring umbrella if it's hot. Okay, but in the Philippines, if it's hot, we all have our umbrella, what they call this, your SPF, so you won't get tanned, etc. So we only I mean, bring our umbrella if it's, of course, there is a forecast of rain. But for me, to be honest, I always bring my umbrella. So for you guys who's still in the Philippines, or you're still in India, in other parts of the world, Africa, when you go to the UK, it's a must-have to get like an umbrella. Yeah, it's a must-have. So yeah, I arrived in the UK like October 2017. Again, it's hot, from 35 down to 15. Of course, it's cold. Yeah. Actually, I'm actually wearing the shirt that I was wearing when I arrived here. I might be lying, but I think I remember I was wearing this long sleeves. Yeah. When I arrived in the UK, it was cold. Yeah. And we were welcomed by, of course, by the trust who recruited us. Um, and then we had the tour. I remembered, and of course, I met my cohort mates. Yeah, my cohort mates. We were the first cohort. Can you imagine? I belong to cohort one in my, of course, first trust in the UK. And I remember our training room was like in a squash court. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar what squash it. Squash is. It's a sport. It's a squash court. I know Filipinos who's watching this, you don't know what squash is. Yeah, Google it. Yeah, try to Google what squash is. It's a sport. So yeah, so our training room was a squash court, and we were actually told um, by our, of course, I mean the team who's in charge of the OSCE, that they were not prepared yet because I think we arrived too soon. So I remember it was cold, the room was chilly, but we were really great for because, to be honest, of course, I saw a couple of stories about the OSCE, etc. Let's say saying that they did not receive enough support, but for me, I'm really grateful with the trust who recruited us because I believe of course they also had some difficulties, but we know they did their best to deliver our program because again 2017 compared to now, the information about the OSCE was very little during that time. Again, during that time, the information about the OSCE was very little. Okay, so I know I can see now people are just sharing their notes. People, I mean, there are videos on YouTube, of course. I know you watch Nurse Nizel, her videos definitely. Violet, of course, I know you watch her videos. Mark, you watch his videos. I don't know if you've seen Arlene's video. Arlene was the one. Ate Arlene was one of the first creator of the OSCE videos, and of course Mark. So I know probably you've been watching their videos as well. Yeah, the videos are really helpful. Of course, go and subscribe to their channels as well. Um, what do you call this? Yeah, we didn't have this kind of resources. So during my time, the only time you will be able to access the OSCE materials is when you enroll. Okay, again, during my time, the only time that you will be able to access the OSCE materials is when your trust enrolls you to the OSCE exam. Say once your exam is booked, that's the only time you will be able to access all the resources. Because I know for those OG people, if you're watching this video, if you had your examination in Oxford, they will give you an access to with or to Moodle. Yeah, I remember people who took the examination in Ulster. I think you might they were given access to Blackboard. Okay, and then I think for people who took the exams in Northampton, I think the platform they used was Moodle, Blackboard. I can't remember the other one, but there's another platform because each university they have their own platform where they upload their resources for the OSCE, the marking criteria, the information, and you can only access it once your trust paid for your exams. Yeah, that's the only time. But now they made it public. Yeah, they made it public. So if of course anyone who's watching this video starting their journey with OSCE, as early as now, you can look for the resources for the readings, marking criteria on the test center's website. So if you're not familiar, we have 5 test centers. We have Oxford Brookes University. So just remember guys, Oxford University is different from Oxford Brookes University because you might be going to a different website. Yeah, again, Oxford Brookes is different to Oxford University. So make sure you go to the appropriate website. Yeah, it's Oxford Brookes University. Just search for the test of competence. We have, of course, Northampton. We have Leeds University of Leeds, yeah, Leeds Teaching Hospital. Leeds. There you go. Ulster. What was I saying? And then Northumbria, of course. Northumbria and Leeds. It's northern part of the UK. And of course, Ulster, it's in Northern Ireland, which is also part of the UK. But you need to fly. Yeah, you need to book your accommodation and your, of course, your ticket when you go there. Yeah, you can as early as now for those people who's watching this is planning to go to the UK. Go to the test center's website. Just search test of competence or OSCE preparation. You will see all the materials uploaded there. Guys, remember the materials for the OSCE across 10 test centers are the same. Yeah, it's just the same because the test center's responsibility is, of course, to facilitate the exam, to deliver it. The creator or the one who creates the exam is of course the NMC. Previously, it was Alpha Plus, but I think Alpha Plus no longer um I think no, is no longer in charge of the OSCE, so it's the NMC. Because when they revamped the OSCE in 2021, it was I think Alpha Plus. I think it's a private company who helped them. So yeah, all the materials for the OSCE should be the same. Okay. Some test centers they upload faster than the others. Let's say when you go to Oxford Brooks's website, you can see the marking criteria there is probably like version 4, and when you go to Northumbria it might be version 3. But of course eventually they will of course update their website, or sometimes Northumbria might be the fastest to upload the latest or the revised criteria, then the other test centers might follow. So that's how you study your OSCE. Yeah. Of course, not. I mean, the videos online definitely. Of course, I know I did mention this. Um, yes. Muhammad. Yes, for nurses. Yep, in the UK. In the UK. Yep. So going back to my story, you go to their website, and of course just check. Yeah, you can download it, and of course you can still watch the videos. I mean, again, just of course when you're watching the videos online, make sure to compare it with the marking criteria, because the marking criteria it changes very often. Yeah, I think as of today, as of our live stream, the last version was version um 2.3. Yeah, 2.3. So this might change anytime soon. Probably if you're watching this in couple of weeks time, we have another marking criteria. Okay. The OSCE might be changing soon. Okay, so of course stay tuned to my channel. Okay, to be the first one to know if there are any updates. Again, the OSCE might be changing soon. We don't know when, but it might be changing soon. Okay, so just stay tuned. Of course, please do subscribe to my channel to hear about these changes that might happen in the future. Okay, it will not change tomorrow, but you'll never know in the coming months. Okay, all right. So going back to my story, of course, again, please, when you do watch the videos online on YouTube, compare it with the marking criteria, because again, the marking criteria is the Bible of the OSCE. Yeah, it's your go-to. If you're lost, if you don't know what's the correct step, just go to your or refer to your marking criteria. And on the website there is I think a list of these references they used for the OSCE. I know if you're familiar with the Royal Marsden, you studied this. I mean, you use the book during your CBT, because of course you need to read your Royal Marsden when you're preparing for your CBT. Um, but I mean the OSCE, of course, parts of the OSCE were of course taken from the Royal Marsden, but it's not solely based from the Royal Marsden. So if you go to the website, there is a reference list in there. Yeah, so you will see all the resources. Actually, guys, I'll give you a tip. When you go to those resources, some of the answers are already there. Yeah, if you go to those resources, the reading list, the websites, some of the answers are already there. But because not all not all the nurses are utilizing those resources. Yeah, some of the test takers, they didn't find out that the answers were actually there. So go to the websites, especially for the writing stations. Yeah, especially for the writing stations like your EBP. You will see the reference list in there. So some of the information were derived or were taken from those websites. So please do visit them. Yeah. Um. So so yeah. Going back to my original story. So when we were preparing for the OSCE, we didn't have these types of resources. So what we did, since we are the first cohort, I remember we were the guinea pigs of our our trust, because we were the first cohort of international nurses who arrived in the trust. So of course, I remember, how's your program, Emer? So as far as I remember, I might be wrong. I think we had a 3 month preparation. Emer, you're lucky then. You had the 3 month preparation. But our training was not every day. Okay, so we had the 3 month preparation before, but our training was not every day. I think, if my memory serves me right, we only have once a week training. So the rest of the week, we were working. I think we're doing like short shifts. And then our day off were like Saturday and Sunday. And then once a week, I think it was like a Wednesday. That's our study day. Okay, that's the only study day. And then we did that. We did the preparation for 3 months. So during that time, how we prepared. Of course, we were given the marking criteria. I remember I had friends. Remember, going back to my earlier story, I had friends who went to the UK. So I got some notes from them. I did ask them, how was your examination? Because they were actually my friends. Some of my friends were the first people who took the exams. Can you imagine? So they during their time, they did not have any resources at all. So they had to make it up. Okay, so they have to create their own resources. Yeah, I remember one of my friend. She's one of the first test takers. Can you imagine that? And then she just shared her notes. Um, yeah, because the OSCE was created like 2015, 2016, I think. So yeah, it was fairly new when I arrived. And of course, we don't have like networks. We didn't have like Emer, like my channel, who could be delivering this, sharing stories, of course. Um. So yeah, so that's how we survived, or how we studied. We studied together. So me and my cohort mates, we were four in the cohorts. Yeah, we were four. Three of us were from the Philippines, and then one from India. But she was here for like, she's already in the UK as a healthcare support worker for the longest time, and then she decided to, of course, pursue her nursing career here in the UK. So we were four in that first cohort. If you ask me where are they now, Emer? So one of my cohort mate, he's already he's a practice educator in the same trust, yeah. And then my other friend, she is our clinical nurse specialist for dementia. That's why she's my reference when I'm teaching dementia. Okay, so yeah, my friend is now a clinical nurse specialist for dementia. So she's my go-to person when I'm running my, of course, final coaching, when, and of course I'm delivering the teaching for 6CIT, because it's her role. Okay, so she's my go-to person. And of course, the other one, I don't know. I think she's a senior nurse in our old trust, if my memory serves me right. She's still a senior nurse. So yeah, and then of course me here teaching OSCE still. Um, what do you call this? So that's how we prepared. I mean, I remembered during my time, we every weekend, we still go to the trust and then practice. We normally ask for like the keys so we could access our training room and then practice. We practice in our rooms, yeah. So because of course the trust gave us an accommodation before, so I remember we go to each other's room. Let's say when during our day off or after, even after work or even after the training, and we continue our practice, yeah. So after finishing, let's say, oh, I don't think I understand how to perform IM. So we continue practicing in our rooms. What we did, we use our pillows. I remember, probably some of you could relate. Yeah, you use your pillow to be your mannequin, and then we practice on each other. My friend will be the patient, I will be the nurse, the other person will be the assessor, and we were very strict. I don't know if you can relate. Yeah, so if you're practicing with your mates, with your cohort mates, with your friends, I know they are very strict. Yeah, they correct you every time. They're very strict with their hand hygiene, which is really good. Yeah, so I remember when we were practicing it, I always fail if they were my assessors because they were really strict. Yeah, I said, "Oh, Emer, you did not perform this. You did not verbalize this. This was done incorrectly." It was really good because again, let's say this person, he's really good with BLS. So when we practiced, I always watch him and then I take notes. So it is really good. Yeah, of course I know some of you might have a different circumstance. Yeah, some of you might have a different circumstance. So you might be doing this alone. Yeah. So you might be doing the OSCE probably without any support from friends or from the trust. Um, but for those people who are probably like luckier with cohort mates, with friends whom they can practice with, of course, I suggest watch each other and learn from each other because again, you will know, oh, probably you're doing this better because you do this, you do that, okay? Um, I like how you verbalize this. I liked how you gave your education, your health teaching. I like how you introduce yourself. That's how I learn from my cohort mates. Yeah, I learned from them, and of course, eventually, I was able to create my own script. I did not write a script. Yeah, if you ask me, Emer, did you write any script? I did not write any script. Probably at the beginning, I was like taking down notes what I want to say, but eventually, over time, you will remember it because I remember even in my dreams, I can see myself performing the OSCE. I don't know if you could relate. Yeah, just comment it on the comment section if you've ever um have a dream or had the dream of you performing the OSCE. Probably some of you had the dream um while I mean performing the OSCE. Yeah, so it's normal. I also had those times wherein I was really nervous and I had like vivid dreams and nightmares about the examination, which is understandable. It's part of the process, definitely. I know that OSCE is not your first examination. Of course, you had your other examination when you were a student, and of course, every time when you go for exam, definitely it could be nerve wracking. You feel like nervous, anxious about the examination, fear of the unknown. Yeah, there you go. And so that's how I learned during the exam. We didn't have any videos to refer to. Yeah, during my time, there were no videos. Okay, there were no videos. So you had to just, of course, listen to your educators, what they say, what to practice, and of course, I think the big challenge before I was saying this earlier. The practice in the UK is different from the Philippines. So when they were teaching us, of course we were like confused. Huh? Is this how you do it? Of course, there was a big adjustment. Yeah, there was a big adjustment. So let's say how you administer your subcutaneous injection, how you administer your suppository, how you administer your IM. When we were shown how to do it, of course we're like, I thought I know how to administer IM all my life, and then when I went to the UK, oh, I think I don't know. I don't know how to perform IM at all. Okay, so those were you might be second guessing your skills, your knowledge about these like simple nursing, because if you think about it, these were like basic nursing skills in it, like IM injection, subcut, um because I mean we learned this when we're at school, and we've done it at some point, of course, during university, or when it started working. It should be like one of those basic nursing skills, of course. So so you start second guessing, of course. You start to, I mean, I thought I knew how to administer subcut. And then when I was like reading the marking criteria, I start to question things. And then you try to, of course, compare it, or recall what you learned back home. I know it's probably, say, back in Philippines, of course, most of our textbooks were from America. Of course, that's our textbooks, yeah. I don't know if some people is watching now. Probably most of your references were like American textbooks, yeah, American standards. I don't know if I ever had like a UK textbook before. I can't remember, or like a UK author. Um, I don't know if you still remember those books that you studied when you were at school. You can comment it on the comment section. Like, I remember Fundamentals of Nursing. Those were the textbooks that we were reading before. Fundamentals of Nursing. Um, I think Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology. Those were the books before. Um, the Nanda, of course. Probably some of you studied the Nanda. Then North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. Yeah, so probably most of you are familiar with the NANDA, the North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. So we don't use that in the UK. Yeah, we don't use NANDA in the UK as one of our reference. We don't use it. Nursing, I mean, student nurses here, they don't know that, because again, it's a North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. We are in the UK, so yeah. So we don't use NANDA. So if you're doing preparing for your planning as one of the OSCE stations, we don't normally follow the NANDA. Of course, if you know it, why not use it to your advantage? Yeah, but again, it's not mandatory that you follow the NANDA, especially when you're is the taxonomy of creating a problem statement, like a problem, a diagnosis. We don't follow the NANDA. So yeah, those were the big adjustment, because I remember when I was creating my care plan, we were, I mean, very we were really like, we tried to probably like unlearn how to, of course, I mean, not use Nanda at all. Because if you, I don't know, for those people probably who experience working in the wards, you know that if you see a care plan here in the UK, you don't see those Nanda statements, those like complicated nursing problems. Yeah, you don't see like the secondary to as evidenced by, you don't see those words written on care plans here. That's why when I remember when I first created my first care plan, it was so Nanda. I can't really say, can I still remember my care plan, like pain as evidenced by secondary to, there you go. Those was my that was my one of my complicated problems before. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. Of course, you can use it, definitely. Why not? Especially if you're confident. Yeah, but again, do not complicate it on the examinations. Just simplify it. So, what else? Yeah, so what we did, I think this worked before. We recorded ourselves. Yeah, so when we practice, we recorded ourselves, and then watch it after. It might be cringy, of course. Can you imagine? You're watching yourself performing it. It's cringy, of course. You feel embarrassed watching yourself, but it worked. Yeah, but it worked. Sorry. So it worked before. So, um, I mean, you record yourself, watch yourself again, over again, because sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you thought you performed this particular step, and then when you rewatch a video, you realize, oh, I actually did not perform this step at all. Okay, I'll just share some feedback. Some of the test takers, some of the nurses, they say, oh, Emer, I failed the station because of this particular feedback. I remembered I performed this. Yeah. And then sometimes, of course, people they go for a remark. So of course, on your OSCE, if you do not agree with the feedback that was given to you by the test center, you could apply for an appeal. But sometimes, most of the appeals, or some of the appeals were not successful because when the test center reviewed the video, the candidate did not actually perform that particular procedure, or it was performed incorrectly. That's why, because of course, when you do the examination, you will not be able to recall whatever you performed. Yeah, you thought you performed it, but actually it's not. Yeah. So again, one of the tips possibly that I could give you, if you have, you don't need to have like a fancy phone or whatever. Just of course you can just record yourself, and then or you record your voice talking to someone, talking to your patient or to your cohort mates, and then of course play it back and then listen. And then what you can do when you listen or you play back your recording, you grab your marking criteria and mark yourself against the marking criteria. So you can do that. So as a practice, especially for those people who doesn't have any cohort mates or who doesn't have any friends, for those people who are like doing this on their own, who's self-funding, who's studying the OSCE on their own, for those people possibly who's working like in care homes. I know some of them, they don't have any proper OSCE training. Some of them are doing this on their own. So that's one of my suggestion. Yeah, record yourself, and then after recording, grab the marking criteria and then mark yourself against the marking criteria. So you know what went wrong, what were your strengths and your weaknesses, and what are the things that you can improve on. Okay, so that's one of my hopefully useful tip. And of course, it's nice if you have like a friend or like a family member who could assess you. Why it's important to be assessed by someone? Because although they don't have like enough knowledge about the OSCE, it's like a preparation for you on the day of the exams. Because if you're only practicing on your own isolated, you don't have the sense of this feeling wherein someone's watching. Yeah. The reason why you should be practicing with other people present or someone's watching is to prepare you for the examination. So on the day of the examination, you are like kind of prepared that someone is watching you. Yeah. So remember, during the examination, apart from the assessor, the examination will be recorded. There will be CCTVs and of course microphone. There will be a video and an audio recording of your examination, so they can review it if it's needed. So yeah, that's one of my probably powerful tips. So ask your family member, your friend or cohort mate during your practice to watch you perform those skills. Or if you can ask them to be the patient, why not? It is important. It will build your confidence, yeah? Probably it might be funny, it might be cringy, or it might be of course embarrassing for someone to watch you. Especially you might feel that they're watching you struggle. But again, there definitely there will be some benefit of you doing that. It will of course condition your mind that someone is definitely watching and assessing you during the exams. So that is one of my tips for those people. And of course, again, if you have cohort mates, you're lucky. You're lucky. Just keep practicing with them. And of course, it's also important if you have loads of cohort mates. Let's say you came in the UK with different batches. Have someone to assess you. Every day, as a different person to assess you every day. So not just that person, because again, you will be marked against from that person's perspective. So ask let's say, if you have like one of your hated cohort mates, yeah, ask them to assess you, because again, they might give you a different perspective. Because of course, if you keep asking your friend, oh, we are friends, your friend might be too nice, yeah, too nice on your performance. But if you ask probably the person whom you are not really close with, ask them to assess you, it might give you some benefit. because they might tell you the truth. Okay, they might tell you the truth, or it's the other way around. Because sometimes, remember, friends, they are harsher, or friends might tell you the truth because of course they want the best for you. So yeah, have a different people to assess you every day. Do not just go to the same person, because that person might be doing it wrongly as well. Okay, because again, that person might be doing it wrongly as well. So both of you will fail. So ask someone to assess you, of course, if you have an opportunity. So that's how we prepared. Yeah, I've asked my friend, can you share your notes? Yeah, so, and of course, I improve on that. What else? Assessment, of course, at the demonstration station. So I asked my friends. So what I did, even in our accommodation before, yeah, those my pillows, I have two pillows before. Those pillows, I gave those pillows names. Okay, and then they were my patients before. So let's say this pillow, let me think of a name. Let's say this pillow is named B1, the other one is B2. Okay, so that's the name of my pillows before. And then I've given them scenarios. Yeah, they were my patients. So um if I mean I have like a day off or break, I simulate the scenarios with my pillows. So my ever reliable patients. The only problem was they did not respond. So I'm just of course thinking their response in my head. Um so yeah, that's the story of how I prepared. And of course, hand hygiene, yeah. So every time I wash my hands before, I always perform the, of course, now the 8 steps of hand hygiene, yeah. How many steps do we have? We have 8 steps, yeah. So make sure you follow the WHO guidelines. So that's how I prepared. So every time I wash my hands, let's say when you go to the toilet, you had to like you did number 1 or number 2, wash your hands, perform the 8 steps of hand hygiene. Of course, you have to observe the 5 moments of hand hygiene. So that's how I did it before. What else? Um, Planning, for planning station. What I did as my preparation, I what do you call this? I thought of common, or possibly like what are the possible care plans that I might encounter in the examination, and I kept practicing it, yeah. And I kept practicing it. Let's say for you guys, that there are 8 scenarios during my time. As far as I remember, we only had how many scenarios? I think we only had 4 scenarios before, yeah, during my time. um yeah, I think we only had 4 scenarios before. I think it was just pneumonia, CHF, and a surgical scenario, hernia, and ectopic pregnancy. Those were the original scenarios, yeah? Those were the 4 original scenarios: ectopic pregnancy, hernia, heart failure, and pneumonia. Those were the original scenarios. And of course, they were revamped. It's no longer the same scenario as before. Yeah, those were the scenarios before that we prepared. So we thought of possible care plans, of course, like pain, definitely. One of our go-to. I remembered when I was practicing, I hope the patient is in pain. So at least I could write the pain. So just make sure, guys, when you do your examination, don't forget to ask if the patient is in pain when you reach your disability. Yeah, remember, for disability, you have to ask for pain. So that's why I made sure I was really praying. Hopefully the patient is in pain. Of course, again, for exam purposes only, not in real life, yeah? Because if the patient is in pain in real life, it's definitely not a good thing. So I remember, if my memory serves me right, yeah, during my examination, I had pneumonia. We had a different patient before. I think the patient's name before was let me try to remember. I think it was Daisy Green before. That's the name. That's the OG name, yeah. But now it's different now. They changed it. I think it was Daisy Green before. If my memory serves me right, yeah, that's the name of the patient. But they've changed it. So yeah, you practice the possible care plans that you might encounter. Keep practicing. Yeah, keep writing, and of course, improve your handwriting. Again, Emmer, is there a possibility of me failing planning because of my handwriting? Yes, you might fail planning because of your poor handwriting. Yeah, there are a couple of nurses already who failed writing stations because of poor handwriting. So if you're part of the club like me, I had like I have a bad handwriting. um you have to improve on that. According to research, yeah, according to a study I watched or I saw or I read, people sometimes, and of course not always the truth, definitely, I don't know. Based on the study, people with bad handwriting, they have higher IQ. Why? The reason for that, based on the study, it's not part of your exam, yeah, because of course your hand cannot keep up with your brain. That means your brain thinks faster, and of course, your brain thinks really fast, and then your hand cannot cope. Yeah, so that's why you end up with a poor handwriting. So you're thinking really fast, and then your hand cannot, of course, cope with how fast you think, according to the study that I read for those people with bad handwriting. It's one of the excuse, one of our excuse. But yeah, of course, in your examination, it won't work. You cannot say, because my brain is really fast, assessor. Yeah. So on your examination, you need to really improve on your handwriting. If your handwriting is bad, yeah, please improve on that. Like numbers, what are those? Let's say like A9, those like like strokes that might look the same. Please improve your handwriting. Yeah, you might fail the exam because of poor handwriting. What else? So those were some of my preparations, and what else did I get? So during my exam, I had implementation station, of course. Yeah, during my time there were traps. Yeah, back in 2017, during when I did my examination, like traps or the props that you might see during assessment were a big thing. Yeah, were a big thing. I remembered it was part of our preparation. So during my time, when you do assessment station, you will see those hearing aids, those eyeglasses, cane, walking devices, a sputum pot, all at the same time. Yeah, all at the same time. So when you go there, you will see those like nil by mouth signage. You will see um, uh, a box of chocolate. I remember all those props, or some people call it traps, were present during my time, and you need to, of course, talk about those stuff before you. I mean, during your station. Yeah, it was part of it before. But now they removed it. Yeah, now they remove it. You will only see like one or two, or some. Most of the time, you won't see anything at all. Okay, most of the scenario you won't see those anymore. Okay, because of course the focus now for your assessment station is the A2E assessment, and of course, um, assessment in terms of psychological, psychosexual, spiritual needs of the patient, as mentioned on your brief. Yeah, those are the main focus of assessment station now, not those traps anymore. That's why they got rid of it. Yeah, most of the stations, most of the scenarios, you won't see that anymore. Yeah, so at least you don't have to prepare. I think some people, they said they saw pair of glasses, or some said they saw photos. Yeah, photos, and that's it. Yeah, you won't see any like hearing aid, any nil by mouth, sputum pot, urine pot during the examination, walking devices. No, you won't see those anymore. So, but just in case, of course, if you see those, again, it might change. Of course, you have to address it accordingly based on the scenario. Okay, based on the scenario. Guys, I hope you're enjoying our session this evening. Yeah, it's just me telling stories. It might be just a podcast. Yeah. So again, if you're listening this after your shift, this might be your lullaby before you go to sleep. Yeah. So you can listen to this video. I mean, probably you're off to work now, or probably after work. Just listen. Yeah. So at least I hope you can relate. Yeah, some of you could relate to whatever I'm saying. Again, if you have any question, please type it on the chat box. Again, please do subscribe to my channel. And of course, we would like to thank World Remit, our sponsor. We have a sponsor. See, we come a long way. So please use code EMER when you download the app, the World Remit app. And of course, use the code EMER and you will get £15 on your first transaction if you're sending money home, yeah? If you're sending money home to, let's say, the Philippines, India, Africa, and any parts of the world. There you go. The World Remit app. And of course, please do follow me in my other social media accounts on my TikTok. Yeah, follow me there. Yeah, we have a different content there. Your TikTok, Instagram, X. You will see. You will know more about me in terms of my work when you follow me in my X. Yeah. Previously Twitter. If you're wondering what X is. X sounds like a different website, yeah. So follow me on X. You will see what I do for work in there. Of course, Instagram. I think you will see the artsy side of me. And then of course, TikTok. We have a different content there. And of course, follow me on my YouTube channel. Please do share this as well. So yeah, going back to my story, sorry, just a quick promotion. And of course, yeah, guys, I'm running to support Victa. It's a charity which supports children and empowers them. Yeah, children who are blind. Yeah, so that's we are doing a fundraising. I'm joining the London Marathon. There you go. I will be in the news again. Hopefully, there you go. Hopefully, for the good reason. That's why I'm in the news. Yeah. I'll try to break my personal record this time. Hopefully, I'll finish it faster this time. So yeah, please do cheer for me. Yeah, I'll be wearing the Victa. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll be wearing my Victa. What do you call this? Not shirt. What do you call this? Bib. Is it bib? Not bib. Like my racing t-shirt. Not t-shirt. What do you call this? My brain is no longer working. Yeah, I'll be wearing that. So please do catch me. If you're in London, I think the route for the marathon starts at Blackheath. It will go to London Bridge, Cutty Sark, if you're familiar. Yeah, it will go to Blackheath, Cutty Sark, London Bridge, Canary Wharf, Greenwich, those area, and of course it will finish at the Buckingham Palace. Yeah, if you haven't seen my vlog, there is a vlog for that. Last year I also ran for the marathon, and of course I met the king. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen my video, my vlog. I met King Charles. Sorry, my mind is no longer working. I met King Charles couple of months ago. Yeah, so please do check it on my channel. Yeah, I saw him in person. We had a handshake. There you go. I went inside the Buckingham Palace. So can you imagine? It's a once in a lifetime experience. I've seen, I've been inside the palace. There you go. The only problem was I couldn't take. Of course, it's prohibited to take photos and videos inside the palace because of security purposes. So yeah, please do watch that vlog. And going back to the preparation, sorry, for those advertisements. So planning, implementation, and during my time, evaluation. Yeah, evaluation before was a written station. Again, during my time, evaluation station before was a written station. So you will write the handover. Okay, so the evaluation before, it was like a discharge letter. Okay, so the evaluation station before, I don't know, of course, probably none of you who could relate. During my time, the evaluation station was a creation of a discharge letter. Okay, so remember, assessment, you met the patient. Planning, you made a care plan. Implementation, you gave the medication, and now the patient will be either transferred, either the patient needs to be transferred to a different area, or the patient is now due for discharge. Yeah, so that's why you had to write a discharge letter or a transfer letter for that patient. But again, now Again, if you're not familiar with the OSCE yet, now for your evaluation station, you will be handing over the patient verbally using the S bar. Okay, if you're not familiar, last session we had last week, our session was about S bar. So please do watch that video. Please do watch that live stream so to know more about it. So that's the API before. So assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and during my time again. It's as if like I'm an old person saying during my time. It's as if my experience happened during World War, isn't it? Remember when your mom tells you during my time, this is how we did it. It's as if it happened. It took place during the World War. No. It only happened a couple of years ago. So yeah, when I did my OSCE again a couple of years ago, we had different assessors. So each station, you will get a different assessor. But now, if you do your OSCE, you have the same assessor all throughout. Yeah. So you only have one assessor for assessment and for planning, etc., and for all skill stations, including writing stations. You only have one assessor. But again, when first iteration of the OSCE, you will be moving. Yeah, different rooms you will be moving, and you will meet different assessors. Yeah, they will just hand over your papers. And the only problem before, you can hear everyone's exam. Yeah, I did my exam. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did my examination in Oxford Brookes University, Oxford campus. Yeah, so that's my test center before. So when you go there, you can hear everyone performing their OSCE. Can you imagine how nerve-wracking that was? So when you enter, you can hear someone performing. No, you cannot hear. You can hear someone performing subcut. You can hear someone performing IM. You can hear someone performing their assessment. So during my time, you know what scenario you will get. So once you enter the room or the big room, so we were candidates were separated with curtains. Yeah, only curtains before. So once you enter, and then once the assessor tells you that you sit here, and of course you can hear the previous candidate still performing their station, you will have a clue what scenario you will get. Because during my time, only one scenario running per day. Okay, so if you're in a big hall, everyone will get pneumonia on that day. So I'm the lucky person because I can hear what they are talking about. So you can prepare for the next for your turn. Yeah, so you basically can hear what they're talking about. But now, for those people who are still not in the UK or who's about to take the examination, there again, previously there only one scenario per day. Now there are, I think, different scenario running in one day. So each room has a different scenario. Let's say room A is only pneumonia. Room B is only allocated for ectopic pregnancy. Let's say room C is only allocated for, let's say, fall and fracture. So that's how they do it. So when you enter this room, this is your actor. Because of course the actor will get a briefing. So at least the actor won't get mixed with the story. Okay, so the actor will be, of course, this particular actor, she's only performing pneumonia. So she won't get lost. Because of course it will be challenging if the actor will be changing different stories. But again, it might happen. But again, there's more, variety on the day. Okay, so so going back to my story, I did pneumonia. I did subcutaneous injection. I also did I'm trying to remember. I did BLS. Definitely I did that. I am BLS. And what's the other one? So ANTT. There you go, ANTT. So Emer, why do you have like 3? Because again, during my time back in 2017, the first version of the OSCE, you will be performing API, yeah, and then you will be performing 2 skills out of 6. You might be telling me, Emma, you're lucky. You only have to prepare for 6. Yeah, we only had 6 scenarios before. 6 skills before. So we only had the skills before were subcut, IM, BLS, ANTT, catheterization, and removal of catheter. That's all. Yeah, again, subcat IM, catheterization, removal of catheter, ANTT. Those were the 6 scenarios skills before. So you're lucky, Emer. So to be honest, apart from ANTT, the scenario or the skill that we were really afraid of was catheterization, because imagine it's a complex skill in terms of preparation, in terms of course you have to maintain asepsis while performing it, and then eventually they got rid of it because I think when you perform catheterization, expect that you will fail the exam. Yeah, because remember, ANTT probably is not your favorite. Not one of your favorite or your most liked skill, because it's of course loads of steps. Yeah, can you imagine for catheterization how much steps you have to really like perform and make sure that you're performing it properly? So that's why when you get catheterization during my time, expect there is a higher possibility that you will fail. Okay? So yeah, we only had 6. But the downside during my time, if you failed one scenario, one station, you will be repeating everything. So that was the problem before. Let's say it was also separated with skills and API. Let's say if I failed, you mean to say, Emer, if you failed implementation, you will be repeating assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation again? Yes. That's during my time, yeah? So now, if you're doing the OSCE now, if you failed on a particular station, you will just be repeating the same scenario. And same station, yeah? You'll just be repeating the same thing. Except, there is one scenario that they might possibly change. Implementation. Yeah, so there are of course some candidates, they said that during their reset they had a different drug chart. Same scenario, same story, same drugs, but the drugs were laid, or the prescription was laid differently compared to their first attempt. Okay, so again, so there is a possibility if you're going to reset, hopefully not your implementation station, there is a possibility of the prescription to change. Again, same medication still, but again, how it will be presented on your reset will be different. So instead of the medication on the regular, it might be on the stat, okay, or whatsoever. So yeah, that's during my time in terms of the exam. If you failed on one station and say API, you will be repeating the all. Plus, there was a challenge with a different scenario. Let's say when you did your first attempt, you did pneumonia. When you failed implementation on your neck and your reset, you will be given a different scenario. You might be given ectopic pregnancy and and an entire new scenario. I don't know. Of course, probably no one's watching who could relate. Yeah. And then for the clinical skills during my time, if you failed on one skill, you still need to repeat 2 skills. Yeah, let's say, remember during my time, you only need to perform 2 skills. Let's say you failed on BLS. Oh, I love the balloons. If you failed on the BLS, you cannot see it. I can see the balloons. Thank you for those people sending those balloons and stickers. If you failed on there is a sticker. Thank you for the balloons. You cannot see it on the live stream, but I can see it on my screen. So thank you for those people who sending stickers. So if you what do you call this? Let's say if you failed on implementation, I don't know what do you call this? If you failed on the BLS, and you pass the IM, you will still be repeating the BLS. Plus, you will be given a different skill on your reset. So, again, you will be doing BLS plus, let's say, ANTT on your next attempt. So, again, there will be a chance of you performing a third attempt. And during my time, again, you can only perform 2 attempts. Yeah, during my time, you can only perform 2 attempts. The reason for that was because of the visa restrictions. Okay, there was a visa restriction and you can only perform it after the second attempt. You might need to go home. Yeah. But nowadays, and then eventually, I think 2018, they lifted that restriction, and then people can now perform third attempt if you're under the tier 2 visa. Of course, if you're like under a spouse visa, or you're here like a citizen, definitely you can perform third attempt. But for those people under the tier 2 visa, it was challenging because after the second attempt, you might need to go home. Okay, but now of course it's changed. Now you can definitely perform a third attempt. But of course, after the third attempt, you might need to wait 6 months before you can redo the entire OSCE. So fingers crossed, guys, that you will pass the examination. Like Faith, she said she passed the examination in one take. So congratulations. Of course, that's the product of her hard work, definitely. You watching our video, it's still your hard work. Yeah. You just use our video as a reference, but of course stick with the marking criteria, etc. Again, guys, remember this: the OSCE will be taught differently. Yeah, each educator might be teaching the OSCE differently. Of course, if they've been delivering the OSCE for a long time now, and it worked for your trust, that just follow them. Yeah, because some of you might be arguing with your with your educator, saying Emer said this during his live stream, this was the right way of doing it. Okay, and then you start arguing. Yeah. And then your educators might message me, Emer, what are you saying during live stream? Yeah, so again, guys, please do respect your, of course, facilitator, your educators for the OSCE. Yeah, if they said, we've been teaching this and then all of our students passed, because of course, please do follow them. Again, the main thing is just follow the marking criteria. That's the most important thing. Yeah, as long as you're following the NMC guideline, that's it. Okay. So if they said it worked for our previous students, let's say if you're part of cohort 100, yeah, and then you still doubting whatever they're teaching, because of course you watched a lot of videos online, or you heard different stories from your friends or from your resources. Of course, just follow them, because of course they know what they're doing. So yeah. So now, for the examination, of course, if you're not familiar, before we only had 6 stations before, A5 plus 2 skills. Now you have to 10 stations, yeah, for those people. So you need to pass 10 stations to pass the OSCE. So you have your assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and then you have 4 clinical skills out of 22. That's a lot. So from 6 before, now it's up to 22. So of course, fighting, yeah, you can do it. So you have 4 random skills on the day, plus 1 professional values, which is a written station, and 1 evidence-based practice written station as well. So professional values talks about scenarios that you might encounter at work, of course, professionally. Example, let's say racism, potential abuse, what else? Impaired performance, hospital food. Those are the examples. For evidence-based practice, it's more of research, studies, journals. Okay, so an example, let's say ankle sprain, which of course compares 2 analgesics, let's say paracetamol and ibuprofen. Another example, let's say what's the other example? Let's say the effect of music and dementia in terms of the symptoms of depression, agitation. Those are the example. Let's say restraint. Okay, so those topics are really useful as an introduction to the practice here in the UK. You will learn more about restraint. You will learn about analgesia. You will learn about bedside handover. Those were some of the topics about evidence-based practice. I did not have those, yeah, so I cannot tell you how I prepared on those on those stations. Oh, let's say Bella, she said she said she's dropping by to say she passed the OSCE. Well done, congratulations, Bella, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for making an effort to drop by and say that you passed the examination. So I do appreciate when you share that you passed the examination. Of course, I share your stories as well to other people. So the stories that you might be hearing are from other candidates who said their previous experience with the OSCE. I'm just sharing it with you guys. So yeah, thank you. If I hear those, if you message me that I passed the exam, I greatly appreciate it, definitely. Um, if of course if I see you around, just say hello, yeah. I live in London, so if you see me around, just say hello if you see me. Um, I'm normally quiet in person. If you've seen me, I'm normally quiet in person. Because I spend most of my energy talking here online. So, but yeah, say hello. If you're in London, you might see me in Jollibee. I always go there for dinner. Yeah, for those Filipinos, so you know where Jollibee is, Leicester Square. Um, so or I might be in Reading. Yeah, visiting some friends in Reading. I don't know if anyone in this live stream who's watching from Reading. Reading is like 30 minutes away from London by train. So yeah, those were again. I cannot tell you any stories about EBP and professional values because during my time we did not have those skills. But again, of course, if you want to learn more about EBP and professional values, just first go to my previous live streams. Yeah, on my channel there is a folder called live stream. Yeah, live classes. So you go there, um you will see all those videos. Yeah, if you want to binge watch Emer Diego, just go there. Yeah, that will be your playlist. I mean, some people messages me that their family knows me already because they've been watching me since they started their OSCE training. I'm part of their family already. Yeah, so so to thank you, I do appreciate that. And what they call this so yeah, so you can watch instead of watching K drama, yeah, watch Emer Diego instead. Instead of you watching Netflix, watch Emer Diego first. Or before you finish Avatar on Netflix, watch Emer Diego first, yeah. Avatar, it has 6 episodes. If you watch it, Emer Diego, I have like more than 100 videos to play. So if you're bored, just play my video. Um, so yeah, if you K drama is like normally 16 episodes, yeah. um and they only have 1 hour. Our live stream is like 2 hours long, so you can watch my video. And so yeah, please do watch the previous recordings. You will learn more about those stations. And of course, if you have any suggestions for the next live stream, please do comment it or just message me or comment it in one of my videos, and of course we will discuss it. Again, we will have another final coaching the end of March. The link is on the chat box. 23rd or 24th and 24th. Yeah, it's a weekend in 2 weeks time. So please do click the link to register and grab your tickets. And again, of course, if you download the World Remit app, use my promo code EMER on your first transaction. You will get 15 pounds additional, plus you will get a chance to win a free ticket for that final coaching. Just send me probably like a receipt so of your transaction, and then of course we will announce the winner. Again, of course, thank you to World Remit for sponsoring our class and the next coming weeks. Yep, so please use my promo code EMER. Why not use additional 15 pounds on your first transaction? Why not? um so um so yeah, that's my preparation for my examination. So Emmer, what happened with your examination? So on my exam, I was so nervous. Yeah, I think I woke up before my alarm clock. Yeah, so my examination was, so this is now the story of my actual examination. So I went on examination. I remember I tried to sleep really early. I said I will try to sleep like before 10 o'clock, and then when I check my phone, it's already 1 o'clock and I'm still wide awake. Yeah, so you might experience that definitely on the examination. You will tell yourself, I will no longer study this evening. Yeah, guys, again, my tip, one of my tips again, do not study the night before the examination. Try to clear your mind, and your focus is to sleep early so you could wake up early because you don't want to miss your train or you don't want to miss anything, your flight or whatever. The following day, let's say, I know some of you might be traveling on the day, on the morning of your examination. You don't want to miss your train, you don't want to miss your taxi, you don't want to miss your Uber, or if you're Ubering or whatever. Yeah, you don't want to miss your train. So try to sleep early, do not study the night before, and then of course wake up early as well. I remember it was 1 o'clock. I'm still awake, I'm still wide awake. I can still sense whatever is happening because I was like living in a hospital accommodation. I can still hear the footsteps of my neighbors, etc. And then the following day, yeah, of course I'm nervous. I mean, I'm trying. I mean, I mean, my mind is like simulating the what ifs on the day. Yeah, you remember when you do exam? Yeah, I mean, your mind is like creating this picture of how the examination will look like. Of course, you're so excited. You're nervous on the day. I woke up before my alarm clock. Yeah, I think our call time was like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock because I think my examination was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we're traveling from, of course, our accommodation to Oxford Brooks directly in the morning, and I think it was like an 1 hour taxi ride. So yeah, I was full of adrenaline. Yeah, I was not hungry in the morning, and then I did my examination. I got pneumonia. I can still remember the actor. The actor was so good, yeah. So when I entered the room, the assessor gave me the briefing for that station. Of course, there was a camera. I had to state my name, my number, if I'm fit and well. And then once the actor said, "Time starts now," the actress, I think it was an actress when I did my exam, she just switched on. She said, I cannot breathe." There you go. She was so convincing. She was a proper actress. Yeah, I said, "I cannot breathe." There you go. I haven't started my script like Cinesafe, etc. She said, "I cannot breathe." There you go. So and then of course planning. I think I panic on my planning. Of course, remember I did say I prepared for my care plan. I think on the actual examination, I only said pain. I passed. Okay, I passed assessment. I passed planning first attempt. I passed implementation and evaluation. But so I did not pass on my first attempt. Yeah, I don't know if I've shared this information before. I did not pass on my first attempt on the OSCE. I failed. What station do you think I failed? Remember, I said I passed the API in one take. Yeah. Of course, I'm so. That is an achievement. So I passed that in one sitting. I think I remember my trust said that. Of course, I'm the first person who passed API in one go. And then I failed one of the skills. Guess what skill? Probably you can not catheterization. I did not get catheterization in my exam. So I failed ANTT. That I think that was my least favorite station even before. So what happened? The struggle was I cannot put the gloves. Yeah, my hands were really sweaty. It and then I remember the gel, the hand gel. It was really sticky. I think I put a lot of hand gel, and of course my hands were shaking. It was trembling. It was like sweaty. So I struggled putting the gloves on. So what happened during my ANTT? I ripped the gloves. Yeah, I ripped my gloves during my exam. I failed not because of that. I failed because when I grabbed a new pair of gloves, I forgot to check the expiration date. Yeah, so the reason for my failure was I forgot to check the expiration of the gloves because of course I panic. I never practiced. Like say, what if I rip my gloves? What will I do? I never practiced that. Yeah. So again, guys, if you practice ANTT, try to practice. What if you rip the gloves? Or what if you need to change the gloves? What will you do? Okay. So of course I never practiced that during my examination. During my practice rather. Because during my practice always like smooth sailing practice, etc. So try to practice it as well. So I panicked. I had to grab like the gloves from the trolley. I forgot to check the expiration date. That's why on our video, if you watch our ANTT video, the actress Jamie, she prepared, I mean, an extra pair of gloves in case, of course, she contaminated her gloves or in case she ripped the gloves. That's the reason why there was an extra pair of gloves on the video. Um, so so I failed that. So I passed my, I think I had IM. So I passed IM, I failed ANT. So I had to redo. Of course, can you imagine? Definitely, I was heartbroken. I felt defeated when I received the result. So guys, I remember when you get the results, if congratulations is not the first word, probably you might need to do a reset, yeah? Because for those people, remember, I know like Bella and Bible and Faith, they were telling us that they've passed the examination. The first word normally on the notification from the test center is congratulations. There you go. If you see congratulations, definitely you passed, yeah? If congratulations is not the first word, probably it's a long email. Normally, if when you pass the examination or if you pass the first attempt, it says congratulations on your recent attempt of the OSCE. You passed all the station. You can now proceed with your NMC registration. That's it. It's like a one-liner or two sentence email. That's it. But if you fail the exam, it will be a long email. Okay, so I think what they normally send you on your recent attempt of the OSCE, you only passed, let's say, 9 out of 10. You failed on the following, and then they will tell you the feedback. And then of course they will tell you to rebook your exams. So that's how you will get the notification. I remember. So I did my reset after, I think, of course, on the earliest available reset date. On the website, it will tell that after 10 days. But of course, the reset will take place on the next available slot. Okay, again, on the website, standard, you can book your reset after 10 days, or your trust will book your reset after 10 days. But again, it will depend on the next available slot, not exactly 10 days. Yeah, I know, again, in the website, it says that 10 days. 10 days because of course you need to prepare again before you take the reset, because of course if you're paying for your own examination, it also costs, I mean, it costs nearly 400 pounds. It's a lot of money, especially if you're the one paying for it. Yeah, in other trusts, they will pay for the second attempt. Other trusts, of course, I mean, the trust will pay, but they will reclaim the money. But some of you might be doing it on your own, so you have to save for the money as well. It's 400 pounds, a lot of money, definitely. The first attempt, if you ask me how much is it, like it's like 700 pounds, nearly 700 or so. Okay, just you can see it on the website. For those people who will be doing it on their own, 700 is a lot of money already. That's why, I mean, we don't have OSCE in other parts of the world. It's just we don't have test centers in other parts of the world. It's just here in the UK if you're planning to be a UKRN. What else? So I did my reset. On my reset, remember I did mention that you will get a different exam. On my reset, I had ANTT, of course, and BLS. Okay, and BLS. I think, yeah, the BLS. I won't share it today, but yeah, in the next coming days, next live stream. So yeah, I had BLS before, so I did pass that. So that's my examination when I did it. 2017, a long time ago. Of course, the OSCE changed over time. So that's why I always say this. If you're asking your friends to teach you about the OSCE, what they know couple of years ago might no longer be correct. Yeah, guys, again, if you're seeking advice, let's say, oh, I had a friend who had OSCE back in 2017 or 2018. What they know might no longer be correct. Yeah, because again, the OSCE changed over time. Okay? So, I know this because, of course, this OSCE is part of my job. Yeah, I've been teaching OSCE ever since. That's why I know the updates. But again, for those people, of course, you can ask your friends for like some tips, advice. But in terms of like the actual examination, what they know will not no longer be necessarily correct. Yeah, especially if they did the exam like 2020, 2021. Remember 2021? That's when they introduced the new OSCE. So for those people who had did their OSCE before 2021, definitely they know the old OSCE. Yeah, they know the old OSCE. Even those people who took the OSCE in 2021 or 2022, what they know might no longer be correct. Yeah, so just make sure when you're asking for information, ask those people who recently took the OSCE. Those recently, like probably like last month or last 2 months, but not like a distant past, like 2021, 2022. Yeah, so it might be the reason of your failure, and then you will blame them. Yeah, um, so please do or reach out with the um those people who took the OSCE. I know there's like pages, Facebook pages or groups that they share information about the OSCE. Again, make sure to select those people, because again, I know a lot of people want to share their experience, share their knowledge. Definitely, that's really good. But again, not all those information might be necessarily correct. Yeah, or the updated information about the exam. So make sure you of course check your reference. Yeah, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed our, I don't know what time is it now. I hope you enjoyed our session. Yeah. So that's my story. And then after I passed my OSCE, so during my time again, you will receive your PIN within 5 days. Okay. Or within 3 days. Yeah. 3 working days. I think there was a time that you will receive your PIN within 72 hours. Yeah. Yeah, that's 3 days. So yeah, during my time, within 72 hours, you will receive the pen. Because again, during my time, the amount of people taking the OSCE was not comparable as compared like last year. Okay? Like 2020, 2021, 2022. Yeah, but it's a lot now. Yeah, 2017, we only had 3 stations, 3 test centers, imagine. Now we have 5 because of the demand of the exams. Um, and most of the test takers before were just adult nurses. I mean, the midwives, they were the minority. Children's OSCE were the minority. Mental health were the minority in terms of the test centers. Definite test takers rather. Definitely, predominantly, most of the test takers were adult nurses. Yeah. Of course, now there is a significant number of mental health nurses taking the OSCE, midwives, definitely. Children's OSCE, there is a significant number compared before. I think I remember. I mean, there was only one midwife who took the OSCE when I was in my old trust, and then now they've grown a lot. So there is like a team now for the midwifery OSCE. So yeah, that's how I did. I received my examination within 72 hours. But now, if you go to the NMC website, they will aim to process your PIN within 35 working days. Okay, if you go to the NMC website as of recording, if you go there, you will see that the NMC will assess your application after completing all requirements. You will receive your PIN within 35 working days. Okay, so again, the basis of that is not when you pass the OSCE. The basis of the 35 working days is once you uploaded or submitted all your requirements. Okay, what are the requirements? Let's say your police clearance. If it expired, you have to re-upload another one. If you're in the country for 3 months, for more than 3 months, you need to re-upload or submit your DBS. Okay, the NMC will ask for it. So make sure to check your portal. Okay, they will tell you what document you have to complete. You might need to, of course, sometimes they ask for TORs, your transcript of records. I think for those countries wherein English is your language, of course you are exempted with IELTS. Yeah, I know some if you're watching and if you're from an English speaking country wherein IELTS is not a requirement, sometimes the NNC will ask, I think, some like school records that you have to provide if you haven't provided it yet. Yeah, that might be the reason for the delay, or one of your requirements, your school, etc. TOR, just or a proof that of course your curriculum was taught in English. Yeah, of course, if you're from an English speaking country, let's say America, what other example of Australia, those English speaking countries, of course you are not, you're exempted with IELTS. um what else? um Police clearance, character reference, your medical certificate, your declaration of good health, the medical certificate, I mean not medical certificate, that declaration of good health. So those are the further requirements after you finish the OSCE. Again, if because those documents expires, yeah. Character reference, it will only last for a year. Police clearance, some countries it will only last for 6 months or sometimes 3 months. I think people in the Middle East, you I think you need to like request for an English translation of your police clearance if you work in the Middle East. Yeah, I might be wrong, but I think that's some of our students said that they had to request for an English or translated version of their police clearance. Um, so yeah, those are the other some of the requirements. So once you pass, so again, they aim to release your pen within 35 working days. And of course, if it's near, my advice, if it's nearly like 35 days, try to contact the NMC. So at least you know the updates about your application. So you can see their details, their contact details, their email and their landline on their website. So you can just call it directly. Make sure you know your PRN. They will ask your name and your PRN or your date of birth just to make sure they have the correct information. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, after my examination, I passed. And then ever since I teach OSCE. And then if you probably on our next in the next live stream, I could tell you what I do for work. Yeah, so I could tell you my career pathway, my journey as a nurse in the UK. It's been I think I've come a long way. So from a bedside nurse to what I'm doing now. So again, you follow me on my Twitter on X, you will see what I do for work there. So and of course do follow me on my Facebook, TikTok. Definitely we do a different content there. And of course, please do subscribe on my YouTube channel. We're nearly I can see my subscribers now. Yeah, we will nearly reach 21,000 subscribers. I remember a couple of years ago we only had like 300 subscriber. Now we've grown exponentially. Yeah, it's nearly 20,000. Thank you for your support and thank you for those people who's watching my video. If you miss me, just play my video on your background. If you want like a white noise, okay. If you cannot sleep, play my video. Yeah, if you cannot sleep, play my video so you will fall asleep. Yeah. If you feel bored, why not just watch this recording again. Again, of course, share this video, invite your friends, join me next week again or this week. It might be this weekend. Yeah, we'll aim to do another live stream this weekend. Please do subscribe again to my channel. Click the notification bell so you get notified if we'll go live. Once we get our target subscribers on TikTok, we'll be able to go live there as well. So that's easier to go live on TikTok. Because again, for YouTube, I need to set up this. It takes me a lot of effort setting up this. Probably I'll make a vlog on how to set up this. Yeah, see, I have a new microphone. Of course, this camera. And of course, you cannot see, but I have two screens here. And I can see myself 3 times because I have multiple windows open. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed our session. And of course, please do join our final coaching in March. You will see the link on the chat box. If you have any question, please feel free to email me. Again, download the World Remit app. Use my promo code Emer on your first transaction. You will get £15 bonus. And of course, you will get the chance to win a free ticket on the final coaching. There you go. All right. So if you don't have any question, I think we will call it a night. It's getting late now. Of course, for those people who will be taking the exam soon, good luck. Yeah, you can do it. Just relax. Okay. Short, sharp huff. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. Short, sharp huff. Take a deep breath. Um, it will be over soon. Yeah. You will be able to pass the examination very soon. Again, I always say this to my students: when you go to the test center, you go there, you're already claiming that you're passing the examination, because sometimes people, they go there and then they're thinking, I think I might do a reset. I might fail. So guys, it should be mindset. Yeah, it should be your mindset. You should have a positive mindset. So when you step on your examination center, the thinking is, this is my first and last attempt. I will not come back here anymore. Probably you'll come back to the test center, I mean, for further studies. Of course, you can go to Oxford Brooks for further studies in the future, but not you are not going there to redo the examinations again. You go there, you're already claiming the victory. Yep. So that's how we end our live stream this evening. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope you learned a lot. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.